Welcome to Reread. Today we're going to review Heart of the Jedi. This is an unpublished novel by Kenneth C. Flint. Doesn't officially exist in the expanded universe, and there is a big contradiction, but that's okay because it is an unpublished novel. It starts off where the Empire has declared a truce and a temporary ceasefire to maybe talk about a truce with the Rebel Alliance, and everyone wants this. It appears that in Kenneth C. Flint's novel, the Senate has reformed and taken control of the Empire. And I thought about this, and yeah, I can kind of see they explain why, because the Senate had power before Palpatine came into, the Emperor, and now that he's gone, he a few years ago washed him away, but they felt like they had somewhat power, so they've returned. Now, everyone in the Senate was not evil. Some of them were Rebel Alliance people. So were they let back in? Or was it just the people who were wanting to keep the Empire together? Either way, they don't go into that much, but they're saying, hey, yeah, we need to do a ceasefire. So maybe there was some Rebel Alliance people among those Senate members that were reforming. I kind of wish that Leia would have been part of that reformation and was one of the ones who voted that the Empire cease and desist and let a new government take over. That would have been kind of interesting. But either way, Luke goes back to Tatooine. He talks to the ghost of Ben Kenobi, something we didn't get to see much in the expanded universe. And Ben tells him, Luke is doubting himself as a Jedi. And so Ben says, okay, you seek out the heart of the Jedi. And that can, it can test true Jedi and give you the answers you seek. But first, he has to find a milky crystal bowl from the Sand People. So he goes off to the Sand People to, he does some kind of test of bravery and wins and gets to see the bowl, which he uses the Force. It makes it glow and tells him the location of the planet of where the Heart of the Jedi is. I know, a little far-fetched, but, again, this is very early expanded universe when it was written, so, I can kind of see it. Now, all the while, there is a shapeshifter called Pollux, who is basically following him for Admiral Tharkus. Admiral Tharkus is the villain. He's the Imperial Admiral, a High Admiral, and he doesn't approve of the Senate peace talks. In fact, when Leia and Han go to meet with some Senate representatives, he breaks it up. He attacks. And the Senate is against this because they want peace, but Tharkus doesn't. Now, again, fitting in the overall scheme, you're like, well, where's Asard or whatnot? Well, she wasn't created yet. But if you wanted to fit it in, there was many people grabbing for power at the same time. And they even mentioned that a little bit here. They said, what about Zinz and Asard? And I'm sure that was stuff that was put into the edit to kind of make it fit within the expanded universe. But yet there is something that is a drastic contradiction. Again, it's an unpublished novel, so I won't knock it for it. But he sees Ponda Baba again. The guy now has a mechanical arm. He's like, wait a minute, I know you. You sliced off my arm. And so that couldn't have happened because, of course, Galaxy of Fear already had him killed off by then. But again, unpublished novel. Anyway, Luke runs into Captain Lucky Thatch, who's an Ewok. Yub, yub, Commander. And he basically takes them all under his wing, gives them a lift to the planet. When he gets to the planet, the Ewok has betrayed him. Why would he betray him? Because it's been Pollux the whole time. Pollux has been a sand person, and Pollux has been these side characters that have been kind of helping Luke the whole time. And for the most part, he's been the Ewok, which was kind of sad because I really liked Lucky Thatch. But of course, Lucky Thatch was a real character, was a real human, wasn't an Ewok, but he thought he'd make it an Ewok just for fun, and that's fine. But when Han and Leia, and they have someone else called Gowan, who's Prince Gowan, he's there for diplomatic reasons. Now, he's been in the book the whole time, and after the peace treaty gets broken up by Admiral Tharkus, they start looking for Luke, and Leia's using her feelings, to, the Force, to help guide her to Luke, to find Luke. When they finally find him, and they think they've got Tharkus, surrounded, Gowan turns out to be Pollux's brother or something, who's also a Clawdite and changes. And now, Tharkus has them captured too. And it's really confusing because the whole time, C-3PO, we're told, was programmed. He had been captured by Admiral Tharkus's people to spy on Han and Leia to see if they knew where the Heart of the Jedi was. And as always, there's our heater right on time. So anyway, it feels like it's like they're looking for the Holy Grail from Last Crusade. Like Tharkus has Luke at gunpoint. Luke is using the Force to guide them away from all the booby traps and get to the heart of the Jedi, which is this, I can't remember, like a silver orb with jewels around it or whatnot. And of course, Tharkus tries to grab it and control the power of the Force, and it burns him alive, like the guy looking at the Ark, or, making the wrong choice for the Grail. Either way, it kind of turns into that kind of story, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. But Luke gets out. He kills the shapeshifter Pollux. I don't remember, his brother dies too, but I don't remember how. I can't remember how right now. And as they're escaping, the Star Destroyer, run by High Admiral Tharkus, who I guess left all his men on the Star Destroyer. Well, that's because he wanted to have, he did bring like 2 stormtroopers, but he wanted the power of the Force. He thought the heart of the Jedi, he could harness the Force with it. Well, anyway, a side story that had happened, there's these vagabond, peace-loving fleet or whatever. They're in beat-up ships or whatnot, and they're from the unknown regions. And when they approach Admiral Tharkus as he's going to the planet of the heart of the Jedi, they approach him in peace, but Admiral Tharkus blows them all away. He orders them to be shot and killed, all of them. And of course, their weapons are way more advanced, so they cut through them. But one ship, one bio ship, we're told, is still around. And that bio ship is run by, I forgot her name, but Stormy is her name. And she says, Luke, run, save yourselves, and kamikazes into the Star Destroyer. They can't turn around in time to avoid it, so she takes out the Star Destroyer, and they get away. And basically, that happened, and then a page and a half later, the book ended. I mean, there was a big old explosion. Luke and them got away. Yes. And then, well, Luke, did you find out who a Jedi was? Yes, I've been a Jedi this whole time. I shouldn't have doubted myself. Oh, I should mention that Ghost of Yoda is in this too, which would have been cool. So overall, what do I think? Again, it's unpublished, but it's enjoyable. It reads sort of like, it's a cross between Bantam, and an old Bantam novel, and a kooky Marvel comic book adventure. That's exactly what it is. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's about as enjoyable as I read it the last time. There are a lot of Marvel comic book mentions in here. And I don't know if that was Joe's edit or if that was what Kenneth C. Flynn had wanted, because it does feel like an extended Marvel adventure. They talk about how the Alliance is now the New Republic. They talk about the Nagai invasion. They talk about, tons of things that went on in the Marvel comic books. So maybe it was meant to be a tie-in with Marvel, but it's like if the Marvel comic books were a more serious, the comic books were a more serious novelization, you get Heart of the Jedi. Again, it's not really bad. It's enjoyable. Definitely not the best book in the expanded universe, but still worth my reread. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.